Do you live the kind of life that you don't have to make very many decisions? And if there are any decisions, you don't really have to deal with any kind of weighty consequences? Have you and the people that you love not had to endure any kind of substantial pain or challenges recently? If this applies to you, then today you will see a game that can put you in the shoes of a normal person and allow you to experience what they go through in Trauma Simulator 2022. Okay, that's not actually the name of today's game, but because this game is about the sunset of everything good in life, they named it As Dusk Falls. Welcome back to the channel. As always, I am Colin, your Game Pass guru. Today we are looking at a game from the new developer Interior Night, As Dusk Falls. Available now and very recently, as of the time of this video, given to us on the Xbox Game Pass. If you're the kind of gamer who misses Telltale games, was a fan of, say, The Walking Dead, for me personally, their Batman series, or the wonderful Tales from the Borderlands, you're probably in similar shoes to myself. We miss consequence-driven, decision-focused gameplay, and that's what we're getting from Interior Night. For better or for worse with As Dusk Falls. This is not going to be a game for everybody. The Telltale developers didn't make games for everybody. This one, well, they made similar choices and they kind of even expanded on the previous Telltale decisions. For example, we have very challenging and uncomfortable subject matter. Trigger warning for this game. There is talk of abuse involving children. There are children in high intensity, high consequence, high violence situations. There's talk of self-deletion, there's substance abuse, there's familial issues. This is a staggeringly mature content game. But much like Telltale, what they also chose was a presentation style that is initially going to alienate some people. Others, like myself, will be drawn into the visual style that they chose for this game, which I'm going to show you. In the sake of not spoiling anything for you, which I swore an oath never to partake in spoilers, the gameplay you're going to see is going to be kind of chopped up from the first maybe 25 to 30% of the first episode. I really want to give you a taste of the way the game looks, the way the mechanics of decision making function in the game, and then, if you're interested, leave you to experience the story. Aside from the fact that the choices that you would see me make might not be yours, and if we vary in even the slightest degree, our end game and even the end of each episode will vary massively, but also because I just don't know how much I can safely show. There's a lot of things that are very stress-inducing to a lot of people, and this game's going to touch on a bunch of them. It's also worth letting you know in advance that the gameplay that you're going to see is going to have come from the stream, where the community and myself played through all of As Dusk Falls with their Twitch integration feature, which was a pretty cool touch. It allowed me to have a vote that carried a little bit more weight in the decisions, but the chat could answer in via messages as to what they wanted the vote to go towards in decision making, and whatever had the highest tally would be the decision that we lived with. It's a fun addition to this style of gameplay. I don't think it's for everybody, but it's cool to have. If you're interested in what you see there, join us over on Twitch. We're playing through a lot of long-form Game Pass games. But without further ado, and with no further warnings of spoilers or content, here's a quick look at As Dusk Falls.
You're an expert, but are you sure you've looked at everything?
Trust me, I got this.
Okay.
The first thing you're going to be noticing is the visuals look like that of a motion comic. The sort of art style we found to be very popular around the 2009-2010 time. I find this an interesting approach because while there's no animation, there's still plenty of ability to display emotion, which the writers made the absolute most of. And the voice acting cast delivers for us. We're gonna follow a large cast of characters, and it just keeps growing throughout the course of the game. But it all starts with Vince and his family on a road trip to move to St. Louis from California after his career in aeronautics has come to an abrupt halt, which I won't spoil. Moving with his wife and daughter, as well as his father Jim, who's preparing to enter treatment for cancer, and has decided to move with his son so as to not be alone and to try to make amends for having been the shithead parent most of this game's millennial audience will understand. Jim urges his family to take the scenic route through Two Rock, Arizona, because that sounds like the most absolutely can't miss scenery that the cross-country road trip would be absolutely lost without the catching of. Just kidding. No fucking clue why he would want to be here, since he literally just puts his hat on and hides his face from the moment they check into the motel after their car breaks down from that collision that you just saw. Cut to Jay. We follow him and his brothers after crashing Vince as they break into the house of the town sheriff to rob him because, well, reasons. And you'll learn that. No spoilers. This goes completely shit show sideways because of the fact that the story needs it to. So here we go. That's the end of spoiling because you can't do this right. You can do it various shades of wrong. That's all you get. We're going to be done with cuts in the gameplay now because I don't want to show you anything past this scene, which you now know will not end well. After Jay and his brothers run away from completely botching the robbery in completely preventable and unavoidable ways, they have no choice but to duck into the motel and take hostages of Vince and his family, as well as the staff of the local institution. This is where the game takes off, and I stop even talking about story. I jest, but this story has some intense and substantial revelations, as well as a pacing that you will absolutely react to, whether it's slamming you into a wall and leaving the moments of intensity to a flashback, pacing around a barn, or the jarring bounce you can have when you leave a scenic daydream to be back into a pistols-raised Mexican standoff. The choices in this game can be of varying sizes and consequences, but I do have to say that myself and my chat agreed this game fell into the same errors that Telltale had. There are not only extreme differences in the choices, like do we pet the dog or crucify it upside down, eating its toenails and reciting Latin satanic chants. Or on a smaller scale, things like I want to tell someone I forgive them, but I don't agree with their actions. But my choices are forgive them and endorse them in a congressional hearing, or tell them that God himself will never forgive them for being the evil incarnate that they are. While these are extreme, this is the kind of frustrating difference that I got irritated with. But that's also not new to this particular game. This is a risk that you run playing any decision-focused game. This one is exactly the right length. It takes about an hour 10 to get through an episode, with 3 episodes per chapter and 2 chapters in the whole game. Long way for me to just say about 8 hours. About 90% of the choices are timed, and so like Mass Effect, you can't just sit and think, except for the big ones that the game tells you will change something irreparably. And they are big changes. Unlike Telltale though, there's no option to not make a choice. Silence is not an option like it was for us in The Walking Dead. If you choose not to answer one of the on-screen prompts, then the game will roll a dice and determine at random which choice you will have. So think quickly, because your relationships being left to dice is part of the reason I am single today, so I wouldn't recommend doing it, even if it's just in a game. There's a screen at the end of each episode that shows what choices you made and how many other players made the same decision, which we have come to expect. But what I like the most here is the ability to go back to some of the moments before a choice and replay it to see the other outcomes. This can also be done overwriting your current save in order to change your personal canon outcome. Look, if it sounds like I'm fanboying out on this game, it's because I am. I talked about this game in the press conference coverage video, and the last time I was this excited about a game coming to Game Pass on day one was 12 minutes. And unlike that game, this one lived up to what I was hoping for. If you want a game that is action-packed and full of explosions and set pieces that lead to more action, then this game is not for you. If you want a game with choices and deep explorations of trauma creation and consequence, this game will nail that for you. If you made it here to the end of the video, there's a chance that you're frustrated by the gameplay that you saw there because you want to see more. But if you make the choice to play the game, I assure you, you will come back, leave a comment, and endorse the fact that I didn't show you more than I just did. This game was wonderful. I know it feels like I'm always coming on here and finding the positives about the games that I talk about. That's kind of where I'm at in life right now. I don't need to find reasons to shit on things in the world, so instead I'm looking for the best of what it is that we get. This is not a game that stretched me very thin to find those benefits to. This is a great experience. The soundtrack was wonderful. The characters are rich. the choices and consequences are diverse, substantial, and weighty. I really enjoyed this. You should also know that not every question that you have is going to be answered by the end of this game. And personally, whether we get a sequel from this or not, I kind of love that. Because a mystery still existing means that a mystery was, in fact, real and substantial, which is what this game wants to feel like. And I think that having that kind of tone at the ending really nails that home for us successfully. I'm excited for you to get a chance to play this because I can't wait to see what characters end up where for you and how different things are in your playthrough. Thank you so much for watching this video, for watching all the videos. If you liked this video, why not like the video? It really does help a lot. Tell anybody that you think isn't getting the most out of their Game Pass about the channel over here. I'm excited to continue growing and continue providing you guys with some more Sherpa guiding up the mountain of content available on the Game Pass. I'll be back sooner than you think with the next one. Peace!